I loved Mortal Kombat, but I knew I was gonna love it when I checked the Rotten Tomatoes score on the Friday it was released, and critics gave it 55%. If you've ever played a Mortal Kombat game, watch this movie. And just to date myself really quick, I first played a Mortal Kombat game on an arcade machine. I'm also a fan of the previous Mortal Kombat movies because I think they're so cheesy, they're good. I mean, come on. This Raiden?
Fate of billions will depend upon you. Sorry.
Perfection. I'm not sure what you're expecting out of a movie that is called Mortal Kombat, but there is a lot of violence and there is a lot of blood. In fact, the blood effects were my favorite. It looks so much like the video game. There's just so much blood, but it was not the typical just gross amount of blood like you might see in a Quentin Tarantino movie, though I love his movies, but video game-ish blood, and it was wonderful. The blood effects were simply wonderful. I think the fighting was excellent. I don't think there was a single fight scene where I wasn't absolutely engaged, and I do have a problem sometimes when action scenes go on too long. My eyes start to glaze over because I get bored, but the fight scenes were artistic and fun to watch. Also, we got fatality lines, and I'm not sure how they pulled this off, just maybe having actors with a lot of charisma or just where they put it, but it was never awkward. It was never flawless victory. Didn't make me go, ooh, gosh, you had to put that in there, didn't you? No, every time there was a finishing line at the end of a fight, I smiled like an idiot. I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but the storyline for this movie was also really good. I mean, if you go to video game Mortal Kombat lore, it's actually pretty complicated, to the point where I'm confused half the time. That might be my elderly brain and dementia, though. But I cared about the characters so much, some more than others. Kano is my spirit animal, just full of rage. Jax was wonderful, and it was killing me because I thought I recognized him, but he was so buff and I just couldn't place it. And in case you're wondering, it's James Olsen from the Supergirl CW TV series. He looks really good in this movie. Sonya was alright, but her exposition dump was a bit much. I get they had to let the audience know, hey, here's everything that's going on. We gotta do this really quick. But it was just weird that Sonya was like, hey, here's all this shit. I'm gonna talk at you for a few minutes, we're gonna get this out of the way, and then we're gonna go back to epic fighting. Which I don't mind, I love the fighting, like I said. I liked Cole. I have no complaints about him, except maybe he made some stupid decisions in the movie, but, you know, you don't usually get forward progression in the plot unless someone does something stupid. Sub-Zero rocked my socks. I mean, oh my god. His abilities, his injuries to people, just, there were points where I was going, no, when I could see where he was going. Give me a 2-hour movie of Sub-Zero just wrecking people's day. Please. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get laughed at. Hanzo's story was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy that's how they opened the movie, and I'm so happy where his character went to in the end. So yeah, overall, please watch this movie. I'm hoping beyond hope we get a sequel because I want these characters to return. I want this storyline to return. I feel like this is the best Mortal Kombat movie we've ever gotten. So I give it 9 out of 10 T-Rexes. And if you're wondering why T-Rexes, I used that rating like 5 years ago and people freaked out on me. It's just like numbers or stars. So now I have to. It just feels good. I feel like enraging those people helps them grow as people. Anyways, now I'm gonna get into spoilers for the movie, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, like the video and then just get the fuck out of here. And definitely go watch the movie. Multiple times. Please. I want to go back to I loved Kano. I am so hoping him and the other baddies come back if we get a sequel because, you know, death isn't that big of a deal, and we got hints that they would be resurrected to fight in a future tourney. Just all his lines. I don't know if it's just because of his Australian accent that just made it so hilarious and so cutting, but I paused and laughed my ass off when he goes womp womp to Sonya not having the dragon tattoo. He absolutely stole every scene he was in, and all his lines, all his dialogue just were fantastic. Actually, him and Sub-Zero, I could watch for hours. Though, speaking of Sub-Zero, so the part where I was going, no, that I mentioned earlier is when he was freezing Jax's arms, and I knew he was just gonna shatter them and rip them off. I didn't expect it to be so gruesome, his bone hanging out. So, yikes, I didn't like that. I think the blood frozen stabbing thing was cool, but I'd already seen that in the trailer, so I was already prepared for it. I'm not sure why he didn't straight kill Cole's wife and kid. Like, you straight killed Hanzo's wife and kid. Why wouldn't you do his? Why leave them alive, dude? Come on. I guess he was just getting sloppy in his old age. Also, Cole, buddy, friend. So you were worried about assassins finding you with your family and killing your family. Then you couldn't find your Arcana, you couldn't unlock it, so you decided to go back home. Without powers, where the assassins could find you and kill your family. I think maybe, Cole, you got hit too many times in the ring, and that's perfectly fine, but you're a little dumb. Kang was fun to watch. I love that we got the Fire Dragon fatality. Piss Kang died, but his hat was so cool. I'm not sure how they made the hat so cool, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, this is going to be bad. This is gonna suck. And every single time he used it, fuck you. I feel like the best use of it was when he sawed that lady in half. Wow. Okay, I know this is super messed up, and I know this is silly, but after Sonya was told, hey, you don't have the mark, so you can't fight, but you can stay here, and she went back to hang out with Jax, who is unconscious, I swear to God, I thought she was gonna smother him with a pillow to get his dragon tattoo. I honestly thought that's where it was going. I was like, oh no, you bitch. Oh no, you bitch. And then she didn't, and I felt bad, but she's so obsessed with Mortal Kombat and that tattoo, I thought she would do anything for it. I guess I should have figured out she wouldn't when she didn't kill Kano when she could have, but I'm also a bit of a dum-dum. Hanzo was the perfect Scorpion, and I loved every scene with him. I think his storyline was beautiful, like I said, from start to finish. I love where his character ended. Seeing him fighting before and after he becomes Scorpion was great. Here's a fun fact. The director said that Cole doesn't speak or understand Japanese, so when Hanzo was telling him, hey, I trust you to protect my bloodline or whatever, Cole didn't know what the fuck he was saying, but he did understand in a way. Still kind of funny though. Also, Cole, when you saw Hanzo was down, you probably should have tried to help him instead of trying to once again release your family, and you knew that wasn't really working. Again, too many blows to the head. I liked Raiden, but he feels like a dude that just didn't really care, which I guess kind of makes sense. It reminds me of playing a board game with my family. You can tell them we're gonna play a board game, but my siblings are gonna take 3 goddamn hours to get to the table to play it. That dude was just taking his time with everything, didn't really seem to care when his champions were being injured or hunted down. Like, it was made out to be a big deal in the beginning, like, oh, Raiden can't figure this out, otherwise he'll be super PO'd. And then it was happening, and he was like, alright. I guess I'll do something. I had so much fun watching this movie. I don't think I've had this much fun watching a movie in a really long time. And I don't know if that's just pandemic fatigue and my brain just whittling away with age, but loved it. Watch it. Like and subscribe.